Hello everyone and welcome to my next session in the virtual village hall. Thank you so much if you're joining me live today. If you're watching on catch up, hello also. I hope you're going to enjoy today's session. Today, as you often know, if you join in my virtual village hall classes before for Silver Swans, we like to do a little bit of repertoire or a little sequence inspired by a ballet. Today, we're going to be doing a Spanish dance with a fan. So if you have a Spanish fan, you can use your Spanish fan. If you don't have a Spanish fan, I'll give you a moment to go and quickly find your Spanish fan. If you don't have a Spanish fan, then just like a concertina piece of paper. I'll give you a few moments just to go and find something. Even like a small magazine or little booklet would be absolutely fine as well. Just something to use as a fan. Maybe we could have done with this like last week when it was the really hot weather. Could have done with just a little routine with a fan. So for today's session, it is aimed at absolute beginners. Silver Swans is an initiative of the Royal Academy of Dance. The ballet class is specially designed for the over 55s, but whatever your age, if you feel this is the correct pace for you, it's going to be a nice gentle class. So it is suitable for adults all the way through and Silver Swans. Then you're more than welcome to join me if you feel this is going to be the correct pace, because I am going to be explaining everything from the start. So whether you're 18 or 88, this is exactly whereabouts you start off learning all of your basic ballet steps and technique. Hopefully everybody's back now with their Spanish fans and or whatever you're going to be using for your Spanish fan. And then we can get started. Just before we begin, check that your space is clear of any obstacles. Just check that the dog's out of the way, the cat's not going to get tripped over. Also make sure that your flooring isn't slippy and that that the footwear you're using isn't going to make it feel slippy underneath. Of course, as well, just take the session according to how you feel. Rest if you need to. You can always put into the comments as well if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I'll always go back afterwards at the end of the session and answer any questions. Right. Let's get started now. If you've done my sessions before, you'll know these warm-ups. Nice and easy to follow along with if you've never done them before. We're just going to start off by walking around our room. Right. Now the art of getting my camera at the correct angle. There we go. Right. I think that will be about right there. Yes. Okay. We're just going to walk around. If you haven't got enough space to walk around, then you can always walk on the spot. I am going to tip my camera just slightly further down. Like I said, there's a precise art in getting the camera angle correct. Here we go. Right, let's begin. Okay, sorry, let me just, the speaker isn't working. There we go, now it is. Off we go, walking round. So like I said, if you haven't got enough space to walk around, you can always walk on the spot. Okay, now taking your hands up and bring them down. And up and down. And up and down. Coming into the middle, feet together. And we're just going to do some bend and stretches. So hands in front, and we'll bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. And bend and stretch, taking both hands behind you. And into the middle, both hands behind you. And into the middle. Now let's sway to the side. Nicely bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. One more sway, then feet together, breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, good. First warm-up done, we've just got ourselves moving now. We're going to do our second warm-up. One thing I forgot to say at the start of the class, as well as having a fan, you'll need something to use as a ballet bar. So something nice and sturdy that won't wobble over, just like a chair, is perfect. Just make sure it's something nice and sturdy. that won't wobble over. About waist height is ideal. So I'll just give you a moment to go and grab something. In the meantime, we will just get ourselves set up at the bar. So we're going to turn to face our bars. You want your hands to be as wide apart as your shoulders. And we're going to think about our posture. Now, we talk a lot about posture in Silver Swans and in adult ballet classes as well. And if you've done my sessions before, you'll definitely know that I talk a lot about posture. So we're going to think about our head being like a helium balloon floating upwards, but your feet are remaining very grounded. So we've almost got a two-way stretch going on. So our head floats up while our feet remain grounded. Okay, so hands are in front of your shoulders. So they're not too close and they're not too wide apart. Just one hand in front of each shoulder. Arms relaxed down. And now we're ready to begin. One more thing. Just check you're not stood too close or too far away from your bar. We can tell this because you should have a nice soft curve in your arms. We're going to do our second warm-up now, which is specifically for our feet. So, taking your foot to the demi-point. So all I've done is I've just lifted my heel. My toes are still on the floor. To a point. Demi-point and down. Other leg, demi-point. To a point. Demi-point and down. Same again. Demi-point. To a point. Demi-point and down. Demi-point to a point. Demi-point and down. Then we're going to point and flex. Tondu and flexing and tondu and closing. Tondu and flex your foot and point your foot and close. So we're stretching that leg away from us. When you flex your foot, really push your heel away from you. Pointing and closing. Pointing and flexing and pointing and closing. Nice and simple. Just getting the different parts of our feet moving, waking up our feet. Really good for just getting that mobility going and a little bit of strength work as well in that. Okay, let's go with music. And demi-point to a point, demi-point and down. Demi-point to a point, demi-point and down. Demi-point to a point, demi-point and down, demi-point to a point. Now pointing and flexing, tondu and flex and tondu, closing in. Pointing and flexing and pointing and closing, same again. Good. Right. So that's our warm-ups all done now. So we need to start on our proper exercises now. So our first exercise that we have at the bar is our plies. Plie meaning to bend. So obviously everything in ballet is taught in French. So 2 for the price of 1 session, ballet class and French lessons. Although I wouldn't recommend just only learning ballet French before traveling to France. I don't think you get very far talking about plies and battement tondus. So if you start off with your feet together, we'll just go through the 5 positions of the feet in ballet. So turnout in ballet, it's all done in a turned out position. It comes from your hips, so it's the whole of your leg that's rotated outwards. So your heels are still together, toes have come away from each other, but this should feel comfortable, this position. We're not forcing our turnout into a flat line. We're just like a right angle almost. Or if you were stood on a clock, your feet would be at like 10 to 2, 5 to 1, somewhere around there. It should feel comfortable, like I said. So if you want to make it a little bit smaller, then that's absolutely fine. So that's first position. We can also have second position, which is exactly the same turnout with your feet, but a space between them. Now, just 2 things to be careful of in second position. The first one is check that your weight is in the middle. So be careful you're not leaning on one leg more than the other. And also just quickly check that both feet are turned out exactly the same. Make sure you haven't got one foot more turned out than the other. So weight is in the center. Here we go back to first position for a moment. And I'm going to bring one foot in front of the other. So now the heel of my front foot is in contact with the middle of my back foot. Third position. And we can have third position with either foot in front. So, one more time. Feet in first position. Now we point our foot and we can go to second position. Remember those little checks. Feet turned out, weight in the middle. And then we can go into third position. And that's going to form the basic structure for our plies. So plie, like I said, meaning to bend. So I'm going to let's face our ballet bars for this. Setting ourselves up exactly the same as we did before. So check you're not too close to your bar. Nice straight back, shoulders down, long neck, feeling as though you're growing up towards the ceiling. We're going to bend our knees. Demi-plie. And stretch. Demi-plie. And stretch. So when we take a demi-plie, just make sure you're keeping your heels on the floor. Then we'll point our foot to the side and lower down in second position. Just remember those little checks I mentioned about, weight in the middle, feet turned out the same. Same in second, knees going over your toes, knees going out sideways, stretch. And bending, keeping a nice straight back all the time. And closing into third position, so bringing your foot in front. Again, keeping your back nice and straight, we're going to take some demi-plies in third. And demi-plie and stretch. Now we're going to go back to second position again. 2 more in second position. Bending and stretching and bending and stretching. And then we'll just close in to first. To finish off, and that is your plie exercise. Even professional dancers, it's always plies that we start off with at the bar. I love plies. I think it's just a really nice, gentle start to the class. So let's have a go at taking our plie exercise. Okay, so nice long necks, shoulders down, and plie, and stretch, plie, and stretch, and pointing your foot, and going to second, same in second, plie, and stretch, plie, and stretch. Now let's close into third position, so that foot's just come in front, and demi-plie 1, and stretch, keeping your back nice and straight. Let's go back to second position, and lower it down, same in second, plie, and stretch, plie, and stretch, and we'll close into first to finish off. Okay, good. Right, it's time for battement tondus now. If you've done my ballet sessions before, you'll know what battement tondus are. It's just pointing and closing your feet. And there are 3 different directions that we can take battement tondus in. We can take them devant, which is going to the front. We can take them à la seconde, which is going to the side. And we can also take them derrière, which is going to the back. So we're going to stand with one hand on our ballet bar now. Nice and easy to follow along with on the camera. Seeing as we have one hand on the bar now. So just be careful, make sure this hand is a little bit more in front of you, because it can really affect your posture if it's too far behind. Other hand is just going to go onto your hip. Again, elbow pointing to the side. Be careful it's not wandering around the back again, because it will affect your balance if it's placed wrong. So we have our outside leg, which is your leg furthest away from the bar. And you've got your inside leg, which is your leg closest towards the bar. Just before we start, I'll say that I do teach as a mirror image. So to make it nice and easy for you, if you put your chair on the same side of the room that I have, that you can see on the camera, it's so much easier to follow along with. Don't try and learn an exercise and then have to reverse it over onto the other side. Just follow it along, put the chair on the same side as me, and then we can all be using the same leg together like a mirror image. Okay, so feet in first position. Ballet's hard enough as it is. We don't need to add in having to reverse stuff round as well. So we're going to point our foot in front. So it's going straight in front of your hip and shoulder. And then we close into first position. Now we're going to go to the side. And closing in. Then we're going to go to the back. So it's sliding until it points. Closing in. We're going to take a little rise. So a little lift of your heels. and lowering down. You'll notice there I'm going to my demi point like we did in our warm-up, going to that point where the heel lifts off the floor but the toes are still relaxed on the floor. Then we reverse to the back and closing in, to the side and closing in, to the front and closing in, into a little rise and lowering down. So nice and easy and straightforward. Our battement tondus en croix, to give them their full title, which means one in each direction basically. And then a little rise in there, which is really good for strengthening your calves and feet. Let's go with music now. For our battement tondus, we're just using our outside leg. We'll use our other leg in a moment. Let's go. And pointing to the front. And closing into first. To the side. And closing in. To the back. And closing in into your little rise. Heels lift. And lower. Let's go to the back. Derriere. And closing. To the side. And closing now to the front. I'm closing it into a rise and lowering down. Okay, good. Let's swap over our chair to the other side now. So, we can use our other leg. Don't want to be just using one leg all the time. We've got to keep our muscle balance equal. So, check that hand is in front of you, other hand on your hip, and let's go with the other leg. And battement tendu devant. I'm closing in to the side. I'm closing into the back. I'm closing now into a rise. And down. Derriere. I'm closing to second. And devant. Going to the front, it slides until it points. And rising. And lowering down. There we go. Battement tendus completed now on both sides. We're going to go on to our battement fondues now, but have a quick drink of water if you want to. I just want a very quick drink. Hello to everyone who's joining us for today's class. Please feel free to pop in the comments. If today's your first Silver Swans class, have you joined in my sessions before? It'd be lovely to hear from you. And whereabouts you're joining in from as well. I'm in Manchester. What's the weather like in Manchester today? Well, it's I can see a little bit of blue sky actually, just a tiny bit. It's not been too bad today actually. It was quite cold first thing this morning actually, but as soon as the sun came out, it did warm up. So. Hopefully you're all back now from your little water break, and we'll take our battement fondues now. So facing your ballet bar, feet in third position. So that's one foot in front of the other. And if you remember at the start of this session, I turned around and I said that we can take third position with either foot in front. This is going to come into use now. So battement fondue meaning to melt. So this is involving our knees melting basically. So it's like a demi-plie, bending and stretching. I'll just turn to face the camera to demonstrate. But as your knees bend, your front foot is going to lift. So your little toe touches your ankle bone. And then as you stretch your legs, it lowers. So we're bending and lifting, and we're bending, stretching and lowering, sorry. And we can do that with either foot in front. But let's have a go now, lifting up our back foot and taking it to the back. And lowering down so your back foot stays at the back. I always say that with a battement fondue, it's a little bit like you're on a beach somewhere. Very nice. And you're stood in the footprint. Every time you lift up your foot, it returns back into that same footprint. We're not swapping our feet or anything. It lifts and it goes back into the same footprint. Don't make it harder than it already is. So feet in bed, again, knees going over your toes. So front foot and stretch and back foot and stretch and front foot and stretch and back foot and stretch. So we've used one on each leg. We're going to rise up onto our demi points, take some little steps just to swap over our feet, And then we're going to stand and just take a moment to think about your posture. So because we've been doing lots of bending and stretching, we've just reset ourselves to have the other foot in front. So just take a moment, think about your posture, shoulders down, nice straight backs, and we repeat again. Front foot and stretch, 4 of them. Back foot and stretch and front foot. So even though we're bending, we're still lifting up nice and tall. We don't want to be sinking. And stretch. I think that was 4 I did just then. And then we're rising up, swapping over your feet, back to whereabouts you started, and then a few counts to just think about your posture. So like I said, even though we're bending, we're still keeping our back nice and straight, we're still lifting, we're not sinking into that movement. Okay, another example of where ballet is really good for posture. Right, let's have a go with music now for our battement fondues. And 2, 1, and stretch. Back foot, just keep swapping your legs. Like I said, it's going back into the same footprint. 1 more, and stretch. We're going to rise up onto the demi-plank, little swap of your feet. So now we've got the other foot in front now. Let's just think about our posture. Are your shoulders relaxed? Long neck, nice straight back. Let's go again. And keep swapping your feet. And swap. We've got 4 of them. 3. And 4. And stretch. Rising up on your demi-plank. Swapping over your feet. And think about your posture. Shoulders down. Imagine your head is reaching up towards the ceiling. That's it. Good. Okay. 1 more exercise just to finish off this. And we're going to take our grand battement. Nice and easy exercise. You've already done battement tondus today. So this is just an extension of our battement tondus. So feet in first position. If you place 1 hand on the bar in front of you, again, hand on your hip, pointing your foot in front. From here, it's going to lift up into the air. Lift, point, and close. Have a go with the other leg. Pointing, lifting, pointing, and closing. I'll just turn to face the side to show you that. So my leg is staying straight as it lifts and lowers. Now let's connect together the first 2 parts of that movement, and we're going to make it smooth into a grand battement now. So it's going to go swish and point and close. You can see my leg staying straight. Swish and point and close. Have a go with your other leg. Swish and point and close. And that's essentially going to be our exercise. So, feet in first. 1 hand on the bar in front of you. Let's use our outside leg first. Swish and point and close and wait. 2 and point and close and wait. A 3rd grand battement. We'll take a demi-plie because our legs have been very straight. And stretch. Other leg. Swish and point and close. You're still thinking about lifting up tall. Nice relaxed shoulders. Straight and strong legs. And a demi-plie. And stretch. The height of your legs doesn't matter. What we really want is that your legs are staying nice and straight all the time when you're taking your grand battements. Let's have a go with music now. And swish and a point and a close. 2nd one. A 3rd grand battement. Into a demi-plie. Let your legs just relax. Other leg. Swish and a point and close. 2nd one. 1 more. And demi-plie. And stretch. Okay, good. Right, time to put away our ballet bars, and then we're going to come into the centre and do some exercises in the centre, just to build up towards our little Spanish dance we're going to be working on. Let me line this out of the way. Okay. Okay. So just in case you missed the start of this session, I was just saying that this is a Silver Swans ballet class. Although it is, if you're younger than 55, then you're still more than welcome to join, because whether you're an adult or whether you're a Silver Swan, this is the point whereabouts you start off learning your ballet technique. Everybody starts off by learning feet in first, feet in second, what a demi-plie is, what a battement tondu is. It's a really great starting point this, and you covered lots of the basic different steps in today's session. So our next exercise we're going to do is in the center, and it's going to be a battement tondu exercise. Now we did these at the bar. We're going to have a go in the center now, which needs just a little bit more balance. So let's have our feet in first position. Actually, no, let's go for third position. Let's put our right foot in front in third position. So it's your right foot that you need to put in front. Follow along with me as a mirror image. So our arms now are going to go out to a position called second. Now we haven't really taught that much about arms. So let's just put the battement tondus to one side for a moment, and let's talk about our arms. So we have hands in Barre. Barre is basically like our preparation position. In fact, in some ballet methodologies, we have it's actually called preparatory position. So your hands are an oval shape, elbows to the side. You can see I've got this space here at the side of my body, so they're not squishing and they're not backwards. Yeah, elbows to the side, hands about as wide apart as your face, and you're going to lift your arms up so it's opposite your waist. Exactly the same shape. That's Barre. That's first position. Okay, so that's first. It's like a big round beach ball, yeah, or a big basketball hoop. Second position, which is what we're going to use for this exercise, is a nice wide position, but we don't want our arms to go behind us. As soon as your arms start to go behind you, you start to lose your balance. If you take your arms straight out to the side now, curve them slightly in front of you. It should look a bit like a rainbow on its side. So it's got a curved shape that's going around. If I just lean forwards and just show you that's the shape of my arms in that position. So Barre, first position, second position. Now from here we're going to take our battement tondus. 2 battement tondus devant. 1 and a close. I'll just move back a bit. 2 and a close. On the third one, we're going to test our balance. So 3, little lift of your leg, point and close. Into a transfer of weight. So we're going to point our foot lower down in second, point and close this foot in front. We'll port de bras, our arms back out to second. Same again. And close. And a point and close. The third one goes to a lift. And tondu and close. Transfer of weight. Over. And point and close. Port de bras, your arms. Then we repeat again. And a 1. And close. And a 2. And close. The third one to a lift. Now, on this transfer of weight, we're going to add in a demi-plie. So it's going to go point, demi-plie, point and close. Port de bras, your arms. One last time, and tondu devant. And close, and devant. And a close into a balance. And close. Tondu demi-plie. And tondu closing in port de bras. To finish off. Okay, so we've got battement tondus. We have what's called a divided grand battement. That's your little balance step. And we have 2 types of transfer of weight, with straight leg, which just passes through second position, and also with a demi-plie in that second position. So let's have a go now at our battement tondus with a little balance and transfer of weight. Just be really aware of your weight placement, whereabouts you're leaning. So if you notice that you're wobbling, notice which way you're wobbling. The most common way is that people fall backwards, especially when it comes around to lifting the leg, because your weight is too far back. So we want to keep your back nice and straight. Make sure your core is working. These arms in front of you do encourage you to keep your weight forwards. And that's the secret to good balance. So, feet in third. Let's take our battement tondus in the center now. Arms prepare. And devant. Devant. Point and lift. Into a transfer of weight. Vertebra your arms. And same again. Into a balance. Transfer of weight on straight legs. And vertebra your arms. One more time. Now we're going to add in the plie on this repeat. Now let's add in the plie. Tondu, demi-plie, tondu, and close, release your arms. One last time. Keep looking straight forwards to keep that balance nice and strong. Into a balance. Now with your demi-plie. And finishing up. Okay, good. We're going to go on to our Spanish dance now. So if you want to go and grab your Spanish fan or whatever you're using today for your Spanish fan, let's have a listen to the music just while everybody's grabbing their props. So, some great music from the Ballet Don Quixote, which actually the Royal Ballet are doing this autumn. Fantastic ballet. It's one of my favourites. I do quite a lot of repertoire from Don Quixote, I will admit. But it's just got some great music in there. So the first thing we need to do is learn some Spanish fan techniques. Now, your Spanish fan always has to be in your right hand. I do apologise if anybody is left-handed here. But I will be teaching this for a right-handed use. But I do sympathise because for me to teach this to a mirror image to you, I have to use my left hand and I'm right-handed. So, but I've got used to it a bit more now. After many years of teaching stuff as a mirror image, get used to using your other hand for opening and closing. Sometimes it just doesn't quite work as well. So I do apologise if you do see me kind of get stuck with the fan because I'm using my other hand. So if you think of I'll come up close to the screen so you can see. Think of whereabouts the base of your fan is here, and it's going to go into the palm of your hand. Now, if you think of your thumb and second finger, that's basically going to act as like the stopper. And your fourth and fifth finger here almost acts as like a brake. Okay. For however much you want to open it. Little flick there. There, my fourth and fifth finger, and third as well. Out, in, out, in. Takes a bit of practice. So don't worry if you drop your fan. Many years ago when I taught a Spanish dance, a lot of the Spanish fans that we used had like a little loop on them, and all the dancers I was teaching it to, they decided to put like a little loop of like an elastic band on it so that it was secure around their wrist, basically just in case that they wouldn't drop it from the amount of times that it was just a clatter elsewhere in the class as somebody's fan had fallen on the ground. So they used to secure it to their wrist in case they let go at the same time as they were doing that. Little hints and tips there. But yeah, Spanish dance from Don Quixote. Actually, this term I'm teaching the Spanish dance from the Nutcracker in my online. I do teach online Silver Swans classes. I'm sure that the virtual village hall will put a link afterwards in the comments to my own classes. I run 4 online Silver Swans classes every week and an adult ballet class as well. So that's 5 sessions suitable for adults every week. You can join me online from anywhere in the world. In our school, we have people who's joined us from across 12 different countries. So please feel free to send me an email afterwards if you're interested in more Silver Swan sessions. But this is the Spanish dance from Don Quixote. Like I said, we're doing the Nutcracker in our Spanish dance from the Nutcracker in our regular classes. So we have our fan ready, and we're going to start off with our other hand on our hip, and this fan is in front of you. And we're going to begin with our feet in third position. So you're going to have your left foot in front. Now, I'll just teach you your footwork first of all. I'm going to step forward with my left foot, and you're going to point your right foot to the side. Left foot. Sorry. No. Put my brain in gear. Left foot, right foot, right foot, left foot. Left foot, right foot, right foot, left foot. So there we go. We got there in the end. Because I have to reverse it. So, although that is no excuse. Right. It's my first week back teaching this week after the summer break. Still, my brain's still slowly adapting to reversing things. So, as we're going to take the first step and point, your fan is going to go up. And then it's going to go round and across in front. Step and up. Around and across in front. Let's try that one more time. So we're going to go step and up. Step and down. Step and up. Step and down. Okay. Let's have a go with music just to that little bit. Okay, let's go. Step and up. Step and down. Step and up. Step and down. Okay. Now, you got a good feel of whereabouts what the speed is of it. We actually need two of them. Just one going to the one side, one going to the other side. From here, we're going to take a little sway, and 2, and 3, and then on count 4, I'm going to step back, and my fan is going to go all the way round and up to there. So I've made almost like a diagonal. It's a very dramatic swoop. And so 1 da da dum ba ba da ba da dum, step da 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 dum, and sway, and 2, and 3, step back and position. Okay, let's have a go with that with music now. And slowly step and point, very grand. Use your shoulders and sway, and sway, and sway, position. Okay, right, can we just continue on with the music, please? So you can still hear that strong beat. Okay, thank you. Right. So you've got two options here. We're going to walk round. So hopefully it's your left leg that's pointed. Don't worry too much if it's your other foot. Just fit this in however you want to. The most important thing is that you're enjoying learning this Spanish dance. Don't get caught up on whether you've got the right leg or the wrong leg. Just have fun doing this solo. Okay, so from here we're going to walk around until we finish back in the middle again. And we can take nice slow walks, and you're going to use your fan. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, if you want to, we can make that harder. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm stepping down on 1 on a bend, slightly up on 2, down on 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to travel on the first count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just a quick one. It is quite fast though. So if you'd rather keep with the steadier walks, keep with the steadier walks. But if you want to make it a bit harder, you can add in that 1 and a 2 and 3. Da da dum, ba da bum. 3 and 4. Okay. If not, we're just going to walk around. 2, 3, 4. From here, We're going to take a curtsy and your fan is going to go all the way around and it's going to come down in front there and we're just going to have a little peer over it. So curtsy and bring it in front. And then we've just got the ending to add on. Okay, let's just walk it through from the beginning. So we're going to go step and point. Step and point. Sway. It's almost as like you're spreading butter on a giant piece of toast in front of you. Sway and sway and sway. Position. Now we travel. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. And big circle and peer over your fan. So you can see I do a big curtsy there. I finish with my foot on the demi point behind me because then it will give you good balance as it goes into that little section. From here, you're going to choose wherever you have the most space in your room. So if you want to go down to this corner, that's fine. If you want to go to this corner, that's fine. We're going to walk. You can take that fan out again, placing your foot on the demi point. And you can flourish that fan up however you want to take that ending position. We just want one foot on the demi point and the other hand is going up with your fan there. Okay, so let's just do that ending. So I'll do the harder legs this time for those of you that wanted to take that. So 1 and a 2 and 2, 2, bam, 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 3 and 4. And curtsy all the way around, pull it down, going to the corner, finish. Okay, so, and that's our little Spanish dance to the music of Don Quixote. Let's have a go with music. Let's just have a practice run. This is just our dress rehearsal. And so don't worry if things go wrong, we'll have another go afterwards. And step, position, step, position, sway, 1 and 2 and 3, hold, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, and big curtsy, round, and going to the ending. Excellent. That was our dress rehearsal. So like I said, don't worry if anything went wrong. You're going to have another opportunity to have another dance of it now just before we finish. Okay, so let's have one more go at this. Are you ready? And step and point. And step and point. Big sway. And sway. And sway and position. Off you go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, and curtsy down and round. And going into your ending. Finish. Okay, good. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody, for learning this Spanish dance. Let's finish off with our cool down and curtsy now. So let me just, there we go. All right. So feet together, nice and easy to follow along with. Midway through, I'll give you the option of putting in a curtsy and bow as well. Oh, sorry, can we go to the next track? Thank you. And breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. Feet into fast. And into a curtsy or bow. And a curtsy or bow. Okay, just walking around your room now, just like we did at the beginning. Breathing in. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, coming back into the middle now. Okay, well done everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you've enjoyed the session. Can't remember what date I'm back in the Virtual Village Hall next month. I do know there is a date next month that has been booked in. Yeah, thank you so much, especially those of you that regularly come and join in my sessions. And it's been lovely if you've been new joining in my session today. So thank you very much. Enjoy lots of sessions in the Virtual Village Hall. I know there's a lot going on today in there. So thank you so much, everybody. See you next time. Bye.